So this is something people probably didn't expect from me. If you were watching my mouse PI video, I said I was going to make a Pragmata video sometime soon, but I wasn't able to get that done yet, and I'm still hoping to get that done sometime in the future. But last month, I went down to Too Many Games in the greater Philadelphia area, and I had a blast going down there for the first time and checking that out. And with that, I also recorded a lot of the things I got to see and a bunch of interviews from a bunch of amazing voice actors and content creators. So without further ado, I'll showcase what I got to see and all the cool and amazing things that were down at Too Many Games at 2026 here. With all that said, let's dive right into the video. So I'm going down to Too Many Games this year, and I've got all my good stuff right here. I've got a couple of clothes for a couple of days. I'm going to be wearing this outfit here with this here. And then also going to be getting a couple of games that are inside here, signed here, with also a couple of extra GoPro stuff for the camera here. So yeah, with all that said, let's get this stuff packed in. So I've always wanted to try this, but no, I guess, perfect. I've also got another suitcase just like this that's a little bit more bigger in case I want to grab some more things from Philly while going around and exploring Too Many Games. I've never really been to Too Many Games, and so this is kind of going to be a big project in my eyes, a big kind of thing that I wanted to kind of do for the longest time, as I've seen conventions and wanted to go to the bigger ones and kind of see what they have, you know, kind of see what kind of cool games that they could be collecting, new indie kind of games that are being pushed out there. And then also, from my experience, being able to meet a bunch of voice actors and then also some YouTube creators, just like Some Call Me Johnny, Scott the Woz will be there, and Liam Triforce. Some of the YouTubers that I actually watch on a daily basis. So maybe I can get some pointers, get some signed stuff out of them, and maybe get some pointers for future videos with them, you know? But with that, I think... Oh? Okay. Well, I think we'll be ready for Philly. So while I figure out how to get this suitcase packed again, we'll get ready to transition over to Philly here and maybe discuss a little bit more about it. While I have that little mess to figure out, let me talk about Too Many Games. So Too Many Games is an event that happens every single year down in Philadelphia that has a bunch of great things that are themed around video games, such as having voice actors from video games, content creators that come over, and also a bunch of video game stores to buy some special items there. There's also a bunch of indie developers that like to showcase their video games down there as well. Not only do I hear great things about the Too Many Games event, but I also wanted to go meet my favorite YouTuber this year, Some Call Me Johnny. I've watched his stuff for a very long time, and I've always wanted to meet him, and so this would be an amazing way to finally be able to meet him and also check out the Too Many Games event. So with all my packing done, let's head to the airport. So we just made it into the airport here. We're just about to fly. It's about an hour away from the actual flight itself. So we are just about to go. But before we go, I do have a couple of things I do want to showcase that I was hoping to bring with me to my my trip here. So I've got it all in the bag here, which I didn't get to fully show when it came to the event or when I came to pack it. So I wanted to showcase a little bit of that and hopefully not have to do that trick again. The things I'm hoping to get signed from official voice actors and give out stuff like that are games like Spec Up the Line, Metal Gear Solid for David Hayter. This was also for Nolan North, by the way. I was hoping to get Jason Griffin to sign Shadow the Hedgehog here, and the current voice actor for Shadow for Sonic and Shadow Generations. That way I have both Shadows signed. A game that I wanted to get signed from Johnny would have been Sonic Colors. I gave it a little bit of thought for this, so I wanted to see if that would be the best game to actually have signed, since this is probably one of the games that got me into it, and then also me asking for it
for Christmas way long ago. This game actually teared me up back in the day when I was a kid, just because of how beautiful the music was and just how beautiful the game was. And Johnny kind of helped push this, I want to say. It's been a long time since I actually watched his video for it, but I'm hoping that he can sign this if he wants to. But if not, then any other time. But the biggest thing I want to try to give to him is SpongeBob SquarePants Lights Camera Pants with a special note that I gave to him right before I actually packed up here. So I'm hoping that I give this to him. That is the biggest goal that I'm going to try to do. I also want to be a part of his 15-year anniversary thing, probably get a couple minutes of that. Don't know if he wants it fully recorded, and I'm always going to ask every single person if they are happy with me recording, to get a shout out to the channel and just to kind of talk to these people, because I'm also going to be super excited to meet these people in person, and as they have inspired and given me a lot of creative excitement for the games that they make, and then also just the fact that they're just amazing people like me and you. So it's going to be really cool. These guys are going to be like Hollywood actors are to like regular people. So to me, that's just kind of how I see it.
After my 2-hour flight to Philadelphia, I ended up making it in Philadelphia around 9 o'clock in the morning, in which I was able to get into my hotel, thankfully, around that time. I was very early for my checkup, but I was glad I got myself a room. With that, I didn't get any sleep that whole entire time, so I was exhausted and ready to go get some sleep. After taking a little bit of time to rest up at the hotel, I ended up also checking out this Mission Barbecue restaurant that was a little bit away from my hotel. Right before going to TMG, I wanted to get something to eat, so going here was pretty good and also actually pretty interesting. On my way to TMG, we also passed by George Washington's house all the time, so it was kind of cool to go see, even if the trees were blocking the view. But after a quick shuttle from my hotel, we were able to make it to Too Many Games.
So we are now at the Greater Philadelphia Expo. We are just about to walk in, or at least try to get our tickets here soon. So we're gonna go get that going for us and see what we can do next. I don't know fully just yet. We're a little early, but we're gonna figure out what to do as we go.
While I'm getting checked in, I can also showcase the map of the building while also showcasing a couple of the cool things I got, such as this little chip that will give me a free t-shirt later down the line, and my mini boss badge, which is the kind of tier that I got for the event. I did show up a little too early, but we were still waiting for the event to actually start, and I was in group 2 here, so we were waiting inside this little spot here for a moment. But once 2 o'clock hit and we were able to go in, it felt like a nerd's heaven. It was amazing.
So we're just now inside the Too Many Games here, and honestly, I'm already crying. There's so many great things I can see right now. We haven't even gotten to the other hall just yet, as we have multiple different things going on here. There's a bunch of Pokemon, there's a bunch of anime, there's a bunch of fan arts, there's just so many cool things. This collector's GameCube stuff that I'm excited to even just look at, and my wallet's probably gonna hate me. But there's a couple places I need to go to first before I end up doing all that.
After making it past Hall A, where all the video game markets were at, I made it into Hall B, where all the signings were happening by all the voice actors. And at first I made it into David Hayter's line there for a moment, but he never ended up showing, as he had a show going on in about an hour, so I don't think he really ended up showing up. So instead I went into Jason Griffith's line and got a quick video with him.
So I'm joined here with Jason Griffith here. He is actually one of the original voice actors of Sonic that I actually grew up with when it comes to Sonic X series. Yeah. And honestly, it's so crazy to think that like you inspired me, and like ultimately I'm going to be saying that to a lot of these people. Too Many Games. And so what's something that you look back on that you just didn't think of when like doing the job? Like, did you think that this would blow up as it is now, or what did you think?
I mean, Sonic's always been, as far as I can remember, Sonic's always been popular. And, I figured it would remain, Sonic would remain popular and relevant. I didn't expect it to get as popular as it would now, as opposed to back, say, when I was 12 or 13 years old. But with the advent of the movies and just the newer fan bases coming in, it's really exploded. Oh, and so many people love Sonic, and so many new people are being introduced to Sonic. So it's a great time to be a Sonic fan, I think.
Oh yeah, and so also to just add on to that, for also history's sakes, it's like because I got introduced primarily through voice acting of your work that got me into Sonic myself. As growing up from the Sonic X, and then just knowing, hey, you also did the games, and so seeing you, getting Shadow the Hedgehog back in the day was one of the first titles. I remember going to my car and crying that I didn't get to play it for 3 hours because it went to my grandma's, but that's okay.
That's a good trade-off. I'm gonna need some time.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I wanted to thank you so much.
Love the new chains, dude. Those are cool.
Thank you. But yeah, I wanted to say thank you so much for all the great work, good sir. And I'd love if you would sign my copy of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Of course I will. Here you go, brother.
Alrighty. Once again, this is Jason Griffin here. And would you like to shout out anything to the channel here?
What's up, Philadelphia?
Perfect. All right. Thank you again, Jason, and have a good one.
Hey, you too, brother. Thank you.
After getting my signed autograph from Jason Griffith, I went back into the game markets back over in Hall A, where I got to check out some of the cool merch that they had over there. I primarily was checking this out as I was also trying to kill some time before Johnny's panel that was happening right around 5 o'clock. His panel was focused around his 15th anniversary of Some Call Me Johnny, and it was really cool to see him talk and finally see him in person. But after the panel, I was able to go check him out at his booth. First things first, I want to say thank you for 15 years. Me personally, I know everyone tells you a bunch of where they get their starts and stuff, and one of the craziest starts, ironically, is me going to my grandma's because I didn't have internet. Okay. And I would go say, hey, I'm seeing this guy talk about Sonic. I know about this fucking rat. And so what I would do is I'd watch your videos, and then I got more into it to a point where, since I didn't have internet, I learned about the power of USB sticks and downloading YouTube download Wi-Fi channels, and then just falling asleep to SGB, Some Call Me Johnny stuff. And just honestly, sir, you've inspired me to make content, trying to make that kind of content. I know it's probably as cringe as what you started with. I'm going to look at that in my future too. Yeah. But I just want to say 100%, like, I look at you like my highest idol for
better standards.
Yeah, fuck no. I think I got some pretty good standards. I look at voice actors and I think them are Hollywood actors. But I got two things here for you, sir. So I would like to see if you could sign this copy of Sonic Colors. That's one of the. It took me a couple minutes to figure out what I wanted you to sign.
On the plastic is fine.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's just fine. And by a couple minutes, I mean like 5 minutes, because I was either that or Sonic Unleashed. And I figure, because I think if you guys ever wanted to do a 4-player multiplayer story SpongeBob game, SpongeBob SquarePants Lights Game of Pants, and behind it is a special note from me.
Okay.
So,
you want to read this now?
you can if you want, but it's also for the crew, for Matt, Greg.
I'll show them one up here because they're here.
Yeah,
but they're not here right now.
I've been wanting to see them too, but I honestly, I pick them out. I'm like, that's them, but I don't want to be wrong and say you're Matt.
I'll show those with them when I see them again later.
Perfect. And then last but not least, if I could get a photo with you, that'd be the best.
Okay.
Guys, I am the happiest I've ever fucking been in my life. Dude, I cannot believe in the same day I get to meet
Johnny from the Super Gaming Bros, Some Call Me Johnny and all that, and get a one-on-one conversation with the man. The man that honestly has been a role model for so long in my life. Dude, I almost wanted to cry because of how amazing that feeling was just in general. So now that I have a copy of Sonic Colors signed by him, I'm treasuring that and I'm just happy. And if I get to see the others, that's another win-win right there. So everything works out in the end. But now I've got a couple of other things I need to do. I need to also get some food soon. But there's also more that we have to go check out. We haven't even gone to the other side of this hall to see what's going on. There's a couple of indie games that are going on too. So let's go check them out. Inside Hall C, there was a bunch of indie games being showcased, while also having a whole section for arcade games, such as this off-road game, which reminds me of a plug-and-play game, and this Final Fantasy All-Stars Carnival game, which is just a rhythm game with Final Fantasy music, which was so cool, but I never got to play it, sadly. After checking out the arcade area, I ended up walking back to the game market area and checking out a couple more cool things there, before finally making it back over to Hall B to go get some more autographs. Now, I was lucky enough to get into Nolan North's line as he was just about to be closing, but I was able to get in without having to go in through a line. Well, while I got you right here, Mr. Nolan North, I just want to say, honestly, it was a surprise to see that you were the voice of this character here for a moment, and then ultimately learning that you were the voice of many characters. In fact, Deadpool, you've got Penguin. You were, and this is kind of a weird kind of flex to kind of come back to, but I think you also did like the G4 top 100 video games of all time.
I did. That was a while ago, but yes, you are absolutely correct. But this, what was gotten today, Spec Ops: The Line, one of my very, very favorites. Kind of a cult classic, wouldn't you agree?
I agree. I think it's a really good game and kind of does. I think somebody should experience it once to kind of get what they think is the message of the game.
Exactly. And I will tell you, the thing about this game that I think it was way ahead of its time, to be honest with you. I think if it came out today, it would get even a bigger reception. The fact that you actually have a copy is pretty impressive because you can't find them anymore.
Yeah.
So I have one at home. I'm keeping it. But yeah, I was very, very proud of this work. Walt Williams was the writer-director of this. He's absolutely brilliant. And anybody who's a Spec Ops: The Line fan, Walt Williams wrote a book about the making of this game that you should go out and grab. Yeah, he's a super talented guy, and this was one of my gentlemen. Welcome to Dubai.
Gotta love it. I love that quote, and I love this game. Sir, you are an amazing voice actor. I tell all the other voice actors here, you guys are like Hollywood actors to me because you guys
we do work there, so we technically, I guess we are.
Yeah. Well, either way, good sir. It's nice to meet you in person.
To meet you.
Do you have anything that you would like to shout out to the camera? Like any socials that you want to mention or anything that you'd like to just shout out?
Hi. Hello. And I guess I'm on Instagram. This is so bad. I should know this. I think it's really Nolan North on Instagram. And I don't really do the Twitter X, whatever it's called anymore, but I'm still on there. But and I got things to do. I got games to make. I don't have time for that.
This man is making legends right here. And once again, thank you for making childhoods and then also paranoid scenes or mature games like this. It's a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Take care.
After seeing Nolan North, I went back over to the market areas and went to go see a bunch of the cool items that they had. And here's a couple more cool items I found at TMG. After spending the entire day over at TMG, I went back to my hotel and crashed hard on the bed. On day 2, I ended up waking up a little late, so I missed a couple of things I wanted to do at TMG. But by the time I made it to TMG, I saw that they were doing a panel for all the Sonic voice actors there. They had Jason Griffith, they had Kurt Thornton, and Erica Schroeder. After the panel was over, I quickly went over to Kurt Thornton's booth and got a signature from him.
Yeah, I'm joined with Kurt Thornton here, and so it is amazing to actually meet a bunch of amazing voice actors here for my first ever actual Too Many Games con. So yeah. So I did not know that you were Saïx in Kingdom Hearts, and one of my favorite series of all time, showing for my tattoos as well. But yeah, like you're an amazing voice actor for a bunch of series and whatnot. What is some of the things that you love about voice acting when it comes to characters that you either know, don't know, something that you don't really tell a whole lot that is part of the business, maybe?
Huh. Well, and I don't think I've mentioned this before, but whenever you go in, a lot of times you have no idea what you're going into. You don't know the character, you don't know the game, and you're just making it up on the fly, or being introduced to a new character, and that's sometimes that introduction is my favorite part, where because it's the creative process of coming up with something new right on the spot, not having thought about it in advance, and just diving into the deep end. So yeah, that's the moment in the creative process where you are challenged the most. Once you've established a character, you know what you're going into. It's always fun, but when the pressure's on, that's when the most fun occurs, you know. And
it is. I imagine that's super stressful as well, because you're anxious. Because for a person like me, I would think, oh my goodness, the pressure's starting to come in, the anxiety, all that stuff. Does that get to you sometimes?
the stage fright and all that. Yeah, I mean, if there's a lot of clients in the room and there's a lot of pressure and they really need you to do something, then yeah, you feel the pressure. But again, whenever you're pulled out of your comfort zone, that's when a lot of things go right. I mean, you can either fail miserably, or you can succeed incredibly.
I believe that 100%, sir, as I'm trying to do that myself. It is a great honor to meet you, good sir. I would love it if you could sign my copy of Sonic and Shadow Generations, good sir.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Pleasure.
could I just get your name for this? And that would be perfect. No, it doesn't have to be my name or not.
Yeah.
I've also got a buddy of mine who would be super jealous, but anything that you could say as your Digimon character for the mic, so that he can feel a little bit jealous about this, and give him a reason to watch my video in the future.
What's his name? Jacob.
Jacob, you're not here. You should be. Tyler's getting all the glory, all the fun. So, I have a couple of words for you. Because you're not here, I'm gonna hit you with a Blue Blaster.
Perfect. Thank you so much again, Kirk. It is an amazing honor.
Thank you.
After spending some time with Kirk, I was finally able to make it into David Hayter's line and got an autograph with him. I wasn't able to record anything with him, but I was also able to get a selfie with him with a quick quote, too, before making it into Erica's line and getting a photo with her. After getting all the autographs, I went back over to Hall A to check out some more video games at the market areas, before finally making it over to a Sonic panel full of content creators. I didn't really know much of these content creators, but I did know at least Emsbury was there and Sam Procrastinates. But I did like the intro of this guy as well.
I'm Nick. I run a channel called Game Apologist.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'm a big fan of you. I love you. Are you? I love you. Because I have to introduce my wife. Your what? What? Oh my God, no! Put that away! That was not, we did not plan for that.
Look at it. Look at it.
That's insane.
It's beautiful.
After the Sonic panel was over, I was able to spot Elliot from SGB and get a quick photo with him before Liam Triforce's panel started. I watched a couple of videos from Liam Triforce and I love watching his retrospectives, and so it was really cool to go see him in person as well. After the panel, I went around a couple more shops and found these Kingdom Hearts plushies over here. And then I ran into this one shop here where you have to guess the video game, and if you guess it correct, you get the game. I had 3 hints there that I could get, and then I could get some more if I bought some merch from them. But the game that I was given was GTA 5, and I didn't end up getting it right. But that was primarily because they labeled it as an action-adventure game, which confused me as I don't really find GTA 5 as an action-adventure game personally. After trying to guess the game, I ended up walking over to a couple of other stores and found these really cool modded Game Boys that people were selling. I also found this really cool shop that was also making some really cool Pokemon designs here, some in Pokeballs and some on top of Game Boys. And then checking out some stores that had some very rare items, such as this really cool basketball signed by a bunch of basketball players for the Sega Slamfest. Before I left, I also saw this really cool Sekiro collector's piece, but I didn't end up getting it as it was $400, and sadly I wasn't in the budget for that one. After leaving Too Many Games, I finally stopped by at a Wawa's and was able to order my own meal there. It was getting kinda late and I was wanting to get something quick and easy, so I was glad to get something quick and easy from there. After taking all the food back over to the hotel, the food wasn't too bad. I've had worse, but this is pretty decent here. But I don't know, I wasn't getting the best items from there. I should have gotten a hoagie. I did end up just getting a cheeseburger without any buns or anything since I didn't have buns, which was so weird. I do hear that their coffee is really good, but I was hoping to get that sometime in the future. But for my first time at Wawa's, it wasn't too bad. Especially since you can make a milkshake with proteins in it, that's pretty dope to me. But after filling myself up with Wawa's, it was time to get ready for bed and prepare for the final day at Too Many Games. For the final day of TMG, I tried my best to get to every single location that I hadn't been to, starting with all the indie games that I hadn't been able to play yet. And so for the final day, I made it my goal to try to go talk to a bunch of the indie developers while also checking out a bunch of their games while I could. Before I did all that, I did end up checking out Nolan North and David Hayter's panel, and it was really cool to see their history, while also asking them a quick question about their characters. If Solid Snake and Martin Walker were both in the same universe, how would you think that would play out for both of you guys focusing around PTSD and war?
Well, I think I would start with, who is Morton Walker? I don't know who that is. I apologize.
I was the commanding officer. It's a game called Spec Ops: The Line.
Oh, okay.
And it's set in an apocalyptic Dubai sandstorm, and then I have to go in and find me and 2 other guys go in, and
that sounds amazing.
Find Conrad. It's based on Heart of Darkness.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's a game that I think was way ahead of its time. And I can tell you more about it, but it's like, it was the first game, the writer, I'll try to do this quick, the writer set up, he was playing a game with his brothers in the military, and he said, the problem with these games is, you choose this, and good. You choose that, and you lose, and you have to start over. He said, as a soldier, sometimes we're faced with choices where both outcomes are terrible. And they had, like, if you choose, I can't tell you how many people I've met, they chose A, and it's really bad, so they redid the level, so they chose B, it's just as bad. But you have to keep moving forward like a soldier would have to. And it's really, really, it's very psychologically PTSD, and the ending is kind of open, like, was it always him? Is there a guy? Is there, what happened? But to answer your question, I think Martin Walker would be like, Snake, take the point. And we probably would have a much quicker game, because Snake would just eat everyone alive.
Yeah, all right, I will.
We all would have lived if Snake was in the game.
I don't know about that. Snake leaves a lot of allies in coffins. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I don't know the game, but it sounds amazing, and the writing of it sounds incredible. I'm gonna pick it up.
He would have done great. He would have done great. Again, just put him in the front, let him clear the way. We just be eating K rations.
Just like Smash Brothers.
Yeah. Just let him go.
Thank you.
After the panel was over, I was trying to head over to the indie games, but I ended up stumbling upon the cosplay wrestling stuff going on here. This was something that I was very interested in, as I thought it was a pretty cool idea to see a bunch of cosplayers fighting and wrestling here. And it was still pretty cool. Outside of the fact that it was obviously staged a lot of the times, you could tell a lot of these hits were not really actually impacting. But it was still kind of cool to see Daisy fight Isabelle. And then also a short Toad fighting a big Toad was kind of dope to see as well. After the wrestling was finished, I made my way over to the indie games and was finally able to get a couple minutes of playtime on a couple of these games. I was also able to talk to a couple of developers on the games and question them about their games. So I'm standing here, we're talking about Project Songbird with the game developer here, Connor Rush here. So what can you explain about Project Songbird to the people on camera?
Yeah, of course. Well, Project Songbird is a first-person cinematic narrative, psychological, and survival horror game where you play as Dakota, a musician who's isolated themselves in the remote Appalachian forest amidst a writer's block to record their newest album.
You were just telling me right before off camera that this is inspired by Silent Hill and other kind of arts. So is this also your first time with that kind of genre, or?
It's definitely my first time delving into survival horror. I have made horror games before, more in the narrative walking sim sense. But this is my first time really delving into combat, resource management. It was a really fun time. I'm glad I explored that and branched out of my comfort zone.
And when you say you're out of your comfort zone, was that also a struggle for you, kind of here and there, kind of learning new ropes, or?
I mean, it's always going to be a struggle when you're doing something brand new in an art form you're familiar with. But I don't like to stick to my laurels. I like to expand my palette. I like to push myself. I like to experiment with new things, because if I'm making the same thing every time, I'm going to get bored, and people are going to get bored. And I don't want anyone being bored. That's not what games are about. So I want to do new things. I want to do exciting things. And yeah, it was hard, but I'm happy that I did it.
All right, well, thank you again so much, Connor. I'm a huge fan of psychiatrical horror kind of games like Silent Hill, and so Project Songbird sounds like an amazing game for me. And I hope that everyone gets to check out Project Songbird as well. I'm going to get some time in here myself and get some moments in here to see if I can get this game on Steam myself. It's on multiple platforms, right?
Yep, you can pick up Project Songbird today on Steam, PS5, and Xbox, and there's a physical edition coming to PS5 later this year.
I'll be looking out for that one. Thanks again, Connor, and enjoy the con. Alright, so I am looking at Monster Tavern, and this looks like a pretty interesting game here. So what is right now on your board? A roguelike deck builder, but it looks like a tavern kind of game. So what can you explain about this game, and what was the idea behind the game, maybe?
Well, it's like you said, it's a roguelike deck builder. You run the tavern. Monsters are your patrons that come in. Your drinks, if you play Magic the Gathering, they're like your creatures that you summon onto the board. You serve the drinks to the monsters to get them drunk. All right, you serve the drinks to the monsters. The monsters' goal is to destroy the bar, so they're always trying to destroy the bar. You serve them drinks to get them drunk. That way they leave the bar. They do not die. You do not kill them. You get them drunk and they leave. Very specific about that. So the goal of the game is to survive for 3 weeks in the tavern. The first 3 days of each week, you're surviving like wave defense style, and then the 4th day is always a boss fight. So right now we've got 1 bar in and 2 bartenders. If you're familiar with Slay the Spire, the bartenders are like your characters. They're totally different decks of cards.
Okay.
Between days, you're drafting new cards, upgrading cards, getting trinkets, stuff like that.
Okay. And where can we find this game on any kind of platforms? Is it just PC, consoles, or anything?
It's on Steam right now in early access, so it's been out for a couple months right now. We're still regularly updating the game. I would like to put it out at least on mobile and Switch, possibly PS5 and Xbox as well, though.
And then for the camera sticks, where can we find, what's the name of your
team, and what is your name, good sir?
I'm Chris Toki, and Toki Games is my studio. I'm a lone dev on this. I do have some friends that help out with it, but it's my game, you know.
All right, thank you again so much for your time, and I hope to play this game whenever I get to unlock the PC as soon as I get home. So absolutely, enjoy the con. Thank you so much.
And before leaving Too Many Games, I ended up finding these really cool free play locations here. It's not anything I ended up playing, but I still think it was really cool that they had these. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the end of Too Many Games this year. And honestly, what an amazing show to go to. From all the amazing voice actors and content creators to all the great indie games and all the great pieces of video game collections and many other things like arts and crafts. There's so many great things that I've gone to check out, and honestly, a really great show to go to. But speaking of that, let's go ahead and showcase everything that we did get from Too Many Games. So one of the first things that we ended up getting was Spider-Man on the PlayStation 1, which is honestly an amazing piece to me. Actually, a game that has a lot of history with me, so I'm really excited that I have this in my collection. Another game I ended up picking up was the Demon's Souls remake. Now, honestly, I don't know a whole lot about this game. I only hear so many things about this being good, and also kinda not from like when it comes to the original players who played this, kinda thinking that this isn't good. I don't know, but this is also an excuse to possibly play Demon's Souls in the future after I'm done playing, I don't know, Night Rain, or possibly getting Duskbloods if I get a Switch 2. I also got the Project Songbird game from that indie panel. This is a download code from Steam. And one of the biggest games I ended up picking up was Pokemon White 2. I just finished playing Pokemon White not too long ago on my DS, and so I can't wait to actually start playing White 2, as I don't really know much about this game, as it's like the only game that ended up getting a sequel in all the generations from what I know. And for me, just kind of going through all the Pokemon games, kind of in a way, you know? I've been playing through Pokemon White, playing through a little bit of X and Y, and then also playing through Emerald, so I can get a lot of Pokemon now. I've been going through a little bit of a Pokemon phase. I showed you guys the games I wanted to get signed, so here's all the games that I got signed from all the voice actors and content creators I got to meet. And to add on to the voice actors here, just in case I hadn't already, here's a picture. Here's the pictures of Blaze the Cat and Sylveon that I got from Erica. I also got this nice little Jolteon craft piece right here. Alongside the Jolteon, I also got myself 2 stickers and a Luxray card. And lastly, when it comes to all the Pokemon stuff I got this Pokeball that's in the shape of Luxray, 3D printed. I'm waiting to take that out of the bag when I get home because the tail is not attached. It's being protected so I don't lose the tail. On the fun little knick-knack side of things, I ended up getting a couple of magnets for my fridge here that are in the face of video games. A free card pack for a game called Massiverse, a fighting card game that I don't know anything about, but am interested in opening it up and figuring out eventually. A couple of pins of the Too Many Games mascots. And also this t-shirt. Before we get started with the last few items I got, I wanted to briefly mention that I got myself a PlayStation 2 multiplayer pack. This allows you to play 4 players with any of your PlayStation games and a couple of your friends here by using the memory card slot and the analog controller slot. Just only one each there, but it allows you to have multiple players and multiple memory card slots. And one of the very cool things I ended up picking up at the Too Many Games was my very own PSP. I've always wanted a PSP growing up ever since I seen somebody play Star Wars The Force Unleashed on one of these suckers, and so now that I own one, I can have a couple of games from the PSP era. It also came with the charger for it, and I also picked up a couple of games for the PSP like Sonic Rivals and Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Now the last few things I ended up getting at TMG aren't necessarily for me. These are for a couple of my friends here that were wanting a couple of items from the Too Many Games, but weren't able to come with me to Philly and check out the event. So here's a couple of the things that they wanted to get. So, funny thing is, I lied to you guys. I actually have one more item that I got from Too Many Games, and I also ended up getting a couple of things from Dave & Buster's I can show afterwards, but the last thing I ended up getting at Too Many Games that is a really crazy prize item that I'm excited to have and eventually play is Pokemon Gale of Darkness. Now, Gale of Darkness is something I don't really know a whole lot about. I know it's a sequel to the Pokemon Coliseum games, but I do not really follow anything about it. I do know that Jaden Animations had actually made a video on this game, and so I'm excited to eventually check it out. Once more, here's all the things I ended up getting at Too Many Games. And with the last few things finally packed into my suitcase here, I'm ready to just finally wind down for the final night in Philadelphia. So without further ado, I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys at the airport right before I leave Philadelphia. The very next morning, it was time for me to check out of my hotel and start getting ready to fly back home. Philly was a great experience for me, especially on the fact that I got to plan this trip on my own and then also just explore by myself here for the very first time. I've never really gotten to do that, and so it was such a great experience for me, not only for the future in case I ever want to do this again, but also to see if I ever want to come back to Philly and just experience some more stuff in the future. All in all, Philly was a great experience, and I was so glad to go to this year's TMG. Oh wait, I forgot the Wawa's coffee. Fuck!